Good afternoon, y'all. Today's topic is going to be slightly different. And when I mean slightly different, it's still related to health maxing. It's always going to be related to health maxing. Well, I don't want to use definitives, but yeah, this channel mostly pertains to that, and that's what I want to help people with and share my experiences as well. But health maxing, oftentimes a lot of people assume it's talking about mental and physical health, which it is. I mean, right at the end of the day, no, sorry, it 100% is. But a lot of people assume what pertains to it is physical activity, exercise, nutrition, sleep. And yeah, that is the holy trinity, and I do talk a lot about that and how it can improve mental and physical health. But honestly, there's a lot more to it than one thinks. And I can't even talk about mental health because number one, I'm not licensed. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist, not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. So I'm not here to talk about how you can improve your mental health. I'm only here to share how you can improve your physical health, which will hopefully help you with your mental health issues. And well, maybe you don't have mental health issues. Sorry, I shouldn't assume, but everyone can always improve their mental health, just like how everyone can always improve their physical health. So the topic today is more of a concern for both mental and physical health. So obviously in health maxing, and it's about personal relationships. Now, this is not something I know much about, so that's why I won't try and educate like how I usually do when it comes to physical health, i.e. running, getting fitter, getting more jacked, aesthetic, whatever you want to call it. But what I've learned recently is that in terms of long-term happiness, and the key factor to long-term happiness is personal relationships. And what do I mean by that is not having loads of quantity, but studies have shown that people who have a smaller quantity of relationships, but they're very close and connected, will tend to live longer, be happier, and live a healthier life. That's the statistics, and that's what research has shown right now. So I don't know if y'all ever experienced, I'm sure everyone has, or most people have, experienced a personal relationship that's so draining, and there's no blame or anything. There's no attribution to, sorry, I shouldn't use that word. That makes no sense. We're not trying to put blame or anything. It could be me, it could be you, whatever. But the point being is that your personal relationship is straining you. It could be your boss, it could be your partner, spouse, family member, even your pet, right? Or your kids. But if you have a personal relationship like that stresses you out, that can cause you a lot more harm than you think. Not just from a mental health perspective, but physical health perspective. And research has shown that too. It can be deadlier than consuming poor food. It could be deadlier than poor sleep. Loneliness is also a problem too, and that is factored into personal relationships as well. So if we're talking about improving our health, apart from obviously doing more exercise, getting stronger, eating better, sleeping well, the other thing is improving your personal relationships. Now that's not simple. A lot of people go, all right, well, how do I improve my personal relationships? Yeah, that's not an easy feat to achieve. Some people go, well, I live at home. I'm from Hong Kong, right? And most of us, I'm lucky, I'm quite privileged, but most of us have to live with family. I'm lucky I live alone. So when you live at home, you're forced to be in these relationships. Now, how do you manage that? This is not within my scope by any means whatsoever. So I would highly recommend speaking to a counselor, therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, and depending on what you need, that's what they'll help you with. Now, what I've learned from my own experience seeing a counselor is there's only so much you can do to try and change people. And I think that's the problem, is a lot of people try and change other people, change what their family wants them to believe and think in. But that's just simply not how it works, right? You've got to change yourself. I know it sounds crazy, but I think it's part of Stoicism, right? The philosophy of Stoicism. And I've recently been getting into Stoicism. And there's a lot of things that are not within our control. And I only recently learned this. I was always a very anxious person. I still am, admittedly. I do get anxious, but I'm much better at managing that now. Sleeping well and eating well definitely helps a lot. Not fighting and getting hit in the face definitely helps. So when I manage those things, my anxiety generally stays quite low. But I pay attention to these things. Why am I anxious? And more often than not, it's personal relationships for me that cause me to be anxious. I will think about whether or not I said the right things to my clients, or when I'm with my friends, am I making sure that they're okay? I do get anxious about these things. My family is the main one was, making sure everyone in the family is happy. And that's the thing. There's not much I can do about these things. That's what I've realized being 32 is someone else's happiness is down to them. It's their job, and it's no one else's job to make them feel happy. So in these events, from my experience, there's only really a couple things you can do. Number one, change your expectations. So your mindset on said person. And now that's not really easy, because if you're close to someone, you're obviously going to have expectations. But what I've learned as well is if you can pretty much have close to no expectations on people, you're going to be happier, because anything they do is a pleasant surprise. Obviously, unless if it's negative, then great, no. And that's the thing. If it is negative, personally, I would say try and establish boundaries, and worst case, cut him off. Now, obviously, you can't really cut off really close family, or some people do, right? I wouldn't do that, or I try my best not to. And I really try and give an effort to change my expectations, my mentality towards things, try and have a more positive mindset, be grateful, practice grace. So be grateful for things. And with that, you're going to find that oftentimes your relationships will improve. Like a big thing that I did was notice that I had quite a negative mentality when it came to people. I would always assume the worst. Someone did this, and that must mean they are trying to get me to do blah, 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 or make me feel this way. It's like, no, man. You got to be introspective and realize, hey, actually, it's my negative mindset and my mind frame that's resulting in me believing that, oh, this is a negative situation. But something I recently learned, I could be butchering the pronunciation, but Amor Fati, the love of fate in Latin. And this is a key principle in Stoicism. And something I've learned is, sure, if you're not superstitious and whatnot, you can say, well, you can control a lot of things. I don't know about that. A lot of things are actually not within our control. And that's exactly what Stoicism tries to tell you, is most things in our life are out of our control. And you can accept these things as fate. And what I really like about Stoicism is that it tells you, regardless of whether the situation is negative, neutral, or positive, treat it as a lesson and be positive about it. Because let's say, for example, you have to go on a hike today, but it starts raining and pouring. A lot of people will probably go, oh man, that sucks, complain, right? And that was me too. It's like, dude, I had all these plans, we were gonna go hike and stuff, and now can't do that anymore. And then you get all upset. But if you reframe that mindset and go, okay, wait, hang on a second. It is raining and I do feel upset. It's okay to identify the emotion. And I'm not saying Stoicism is not telling you not to be upset, right? You need to identify, why am I feeling upset? And right now I feel upset because it's raining. I can't go on a hike with my friends. So therefore, I accept it and I think of something else to do. And even with that mindset, you already go, number one, I'm accepting this emotion. It's okay to feel upset. But number two is, all right, well, if it's gonna rain, or if it's raining now, let's think of something else to do. And I promise you're probably gonna find something else that might even be better than a hike in the rain. Like, for example, you decide y'all can go to the arcade and play games. Boom, there you go. And that's what I'm trying to do more of. And I've noticed that just by doing that, I'm a much happier person already. And I really mean that, it's all about mindset, mind frame. And yeah, that's how I approach personal relationships now as best as I can as well. If someone makes me feel upset, okay, well, I identify, why am I feeling upset? Okay, is it because I did something? Is it because they did something? Let's figure it out. And let's try and get to the bottom of it, because emotions can get deeper and deeper. And then we need to understand those emotions even more. And as a millennial, or if you're even older watching this, you realize, especially as a guy, we're not very good at understanding emotions. What even is that? Can you place an emotion to whatever you're feeling? And I use the emotional wheel when I can't identify a feeling. So right now, what do I feel? Usually I'll pull up the emotional chart, and there's like a massive wheel, and then you can identify one or two key emotions that explain how you feel right now, and then ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And that will allow you to think more and process your emotions. And that's something really, really important, because what we're not trying to do is tell you, don't be emotional. That's not what you want to do. You want to be emotional, but you need to understand why. And that will allow you to also handle your emotions better, rather than get really annoyed in the moment, which is still not easy to do, because emotional regulation is a skill that needs to be practiced. And what I've realized, just like anything in life, my analogy is treating most things in life like learning how to weight train, learning how to exercise. It's just a skill. A lot of people think, oh, you need to be talented. Oh, I'm not very good at emotionally regulating. I get angry all the time and that's just how it is. It's like, no, man, that's not how it is. You know, I'm someone with ADHD. I do struggle with emotional regulation, but it's a skill that can be learned. It's a skill that can be developed. Put your EXP points in emotional regulation, because studies have also shown people with higher EQ tend to do better in work and careers as well. IQ can only take you so far. So that's what I'm working on. And that's really helped me with improving my relationships. And yeah, not all relationships are going to be perfect. You will fail, but you learn from these mistakes, right? Like, that's what I try and do, is learn from these mistakes. What did I do wrong? Always attribute the blame. Well, not always, because most of the time, try and attribute the blame to yourself. Okay, this is not advice anymore. This is just me talking aloud about how I deal with it, right? I will always try and look at it and go, what did I do wrong here? Or what could I have done wrong? And then start to analyze, maybe I could have said it this way. And if I framed it this way, maybe it wouldn't have invoked such a big emotion, right? Just things like that. And yeah, that's really helped improve my mostly family relationships. So yeah. And I'm much happier that way, because it easily could have gone the other way, where, you know, I've held resentment over family members, and I would have anger, annoyance, upset, all these things. But sure, sometimes that may still happen, but most of the time now I just go, I feel angry because it brings back this memory from childhood, whatnot. Okay, I understand it now. What can I do with it? Okay, maybe I can talk to said person and speak to them nicely and see what they think about it. And more often than not, if you speak to someone nicely about these things and start with I feel, you will probably get a better response than one you can expect, okay? Oof. Okay, that was a lot, and that was not where I was expecting it to go, but I'm just sharing my feelings, sharing my thoughts, sharing what I've learned so far and how it's improved my health. And I've noticed that when I have better relationships with the people I'm close to, I am much happier. And yeah, that's where I would start. So if you're struggling with a relationship, you don't feel like you're talking to your friends enough, or you're not building connections with them, really try and make an effort to do that. If you're struggling with loneliness, hey, look, I don't have many people watching, but you're always welcome to reach out to me, chat with me. I'm always happy to talk, hopefully help you improve your health, or just even someone to listen to your problems, whatnot. But I did have one last thing I wanted to say. Personal relationship? Nah, I think that's about it, really. So yeah, really try and improve your personal relationships. That's going to help you a lot. Oh, and if you are feeling lonely as well, try and find a community. That also studies have really shown as well. I mean, that's part of personal relationships, but being a part of a community, being part of a community that matters to you, their values. So let's say you're really into scuba diving, find a scuba diving group. Not only will you be happier, you know, scuba diving with these people, but you might end up finding that they share a lot of other values too. And that's how you meet more people. And I understand it's easy for me because I'm extroverted, but if you're introverted as well, I'm sure you'll find one or two people in these groups that can relate with you, or, you know, you get along with. Just go out there, because this is very important, personal relationships. So yeah, this is the topic for today. It's a very different tangent, but I hope this helps, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.